Yes, I'm sharing my screen. So hope you guys are able to see my screen. Right? Okay. Okay. So yeah, we're going to start day one with very basic things of Java. So what exactly Java is, and how it is going to help us to perform something in the computer. Okay. So yeah, when it consider like the computer doesn't have anything until unless we instruct that to do something else. Okay. So that's why I just mentioned like a computer is a dumb machine, so it needs some instructions. Okay, how to perform a particular task. So how those instructions, actually what we do, we use a programming language to achieve that, to give the instructions directly to computer, using a programming language. Okay. So when it comes to the Java training, okay, so what exactly Java is, right? Java is a programming language, okay, which is intend have some commands and particular syntax that we need to use, and it 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 can help us to perform a computer a task. Okay. So if you want to do some sorry, if you want to do something like calculating some you know amount, okay, amount details from whatever the data that you get it from the command line, and perform some arithmetic operations, or anything that you wanted to make application, sorry, computer to work on it. Yeah, so those things, actually we have only one way to express all those things using a programming language. Okay. So it will help us to perform a computer particular task. Okay. So Java is one of the main programming language, okay, we use to instruct the computer. Okay. So and it follows object oriented programming concepts. Okay. And it was initially developed by Sun Microsystems, and later Sun Microsystems was acquired by Oracle. So now it is under Oracle Corporation. Okay. Yeah, so initially this was found by James Gosling. Okay, so as I mentioned, it was under Sun Microsystems, which later it merged to Oracle Corporation. Okay, so if you guys know about C and C++, okay, so those are the two other famous programming languages, which are found before Java. Okay, so Java is combinedly having both concepts and both implementations actually in Java. Okay, so whatever the features that you see in C and C++, actually you will be seeing it mostly in the Java application. Okay, and the concepts of object oriented programming structure, right, so those things are also imported by C, from C++, okay, to Java. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. This it acts as a mediator between the computer and the human. Okay, so whatever you wanted to say to computer, you have to go with this mediator. Okay, so anything, so it start the computer will start executing the tasks once you have everything ready, with the task details and everything, with the programming language. Okay, so it's Java is not only at one place, like it is it actually distributed in so many places. Okay, so it is one of the places, like we can use Java. Okay, Java used to create some Android applications, and also there are desktop applications which we are still using. you know so all those things we can do it with Java. Okay, so and So for each application or for each system that mostly require a Java to run something else every day. Okay, so it's like there are billion of devices that uses Java. Okay, and it is also used, as I mentioned, it is also used to create the desktop applications. Okay, and which are can be used on the daily basis. Okay, so we have to check, like how the Java works, right? So now you must be wondering how the commands which we write in English are understood by computer. Okay, so how it is able to act accordingly, right? So there are few steps that we need to learn. So the program that you are going to write, or the commands that you're going to list out, okay, in the English language, we create it as a Java program. So that means the file that you're trying to add something, which will be having an extension of dot Java. Okay, so and there is a compiler. Okay, so the compiler, what does actually, it is going to compile the code, okay, into an intermediate version. Okay, and that is called as bytecode. The version is not readable by human. Okay, the .java file, it's very plain file, and you can see a lot of people in there. And when you come to this one, okay, so what you need to do, the program, whatever it has already, it's ready to compile. So those things, actually those programs, okay, so will be converted into an intermediate version. What is this intermediate version? So intermediate version is going to um, is not is going to be generated by is Java compiler, and the extension will follow with as dot class. Okay, and okay, so once we have dot class file, there is one more you know what is a interpreter. Okay, there is one more sorry, one second. Yeah, there is one more software that we utilize in the Java, which is called as Java Interpreter, and which is also translates it to a machine-friendly language. So when I say Java Interpreter translate the dot class file into a machine level language, so that where uh, that where actually the computer will be start learning those uh, sorry, the computer will start reading those. Okay, reading those dot class files, sorry, reading those the machine converted code, and it is going to give you the response back. Okay, so that means, like, it contains four steps. First, you need to write something using Java and save it as .java file, and then you go to your uh, the Java location, and try to compile the code. So what it is going to create, it is going to create a dot class file for you. Okay, and then this class file will be readed by you know uh, readed by our, like, the core. Okay, so system. So then the bytecode. Okay, so dot class file will be created, and with the help of compiler, and this dot class file will be given to the Java interpreter. So interpreter will be helping us to convert the complete dot class file into machine learning code, right? So that thing we require. Okay, so once it is converted to the machine level code, and computer is easily read them and perform your task on your on their own, right? So what will be the task? The task is like something whatever you have added. Okay, it is going to be added as a task, and that task can be executed. Okay, when we have the interpreter with which generates a kind of a machine friendly language which will be on zeros and ones. Okay, so this is the how Java works, whenever we wanted to write some command. Okay, so or some code. So this is how it works internally. There's a compiler and interpreter will be taking care, most of the things. Yeah. So if you want to install Java, yeah, just go to this link and try to get the latest version. So my version is like Oracle Java 17. So I still use that. Okay. Yeah, I can share the link. Okay. Once. Okay. So let's come back. Okay. So what exactly is a computer program? So we already know that, it is not okay. So we already know that, whatever the task that we, push it to uh, the task, whatever the task that we give it to computer. Okay, so that computer will act. Okay, so what according to your instructions, right? So those instructions we call it as a computer program. So a computer program is a list of instructions that tells a computer what to do. Everything a computer does in um, okay, everything computer does it. Okay, so there is something wrong. Okay, done by using computer program. Okay, and a computer program is written in the programming languages. Okay, so what we were trying to say like here, so computer whatever it does, okay, it is going to copy somewhere from the program itself. Okay, and the same way, like a computer program is written in a programming language like C, C++, and Java. Okay. And yeah, so we are going to build our first program, to say the hello world. Okay. And how it actually does, right? Let's start the first program that's students can create. Okay. So it's called hello world, and it tells that computer to print hello world on the screen, right? So but before doing that, let's see if some of the commonly special characters in the programming, right? So we utilize curly braces and curve braces and square brackets and semicolon double quotes, right? So all these things, okay, which are very useful, while writing a program. Sorry, yeah, while writing a program. Okay, so these are the main things: curly brackets, curve brackets, and square brackets, and also semicolon and double quotes. All these things, right? So let's see, how to create a program using these things, right? Okay, so you just wanted to print something on the screen which says hello world, right? So Java internally provide a lot of number of classes which are having the user. Okay, so what exactly you wanted to print? You wanted to print a hello world on the screen, right? So Java provided a last of libraries, and it has a vast of uh, you know what do we say, predefined APIs, which we can use at them, and to complete our code, right? So similarly, what we are trying to do, we are just printing the screen, right? So similarly, there is a command called system.out.print, and that print will give you the output on the console. So if you see there, I have written system.out.print hello world, right? That will be printed on the screen. Okay. So now we cannot run the command directly because, as I mentioned, like, these things, right, will follow certain Java standards, to create a program. So let's see how to create it, right? Okay, might be I just had something between. Okay, can run the command like this. We need to follow the certain Java standard to create a program. Okay. Okay, so now let's come to the variables. Okay, so what exactly a variable is, right? So it is a container which holds the data value in a program, right? So what is a variable that we can say? Okay, if you're writing a program, like sum of two numbers, okay. So in that case, what you will do, you need two numbers. We need two numbers to add them. So what type of value that we are trying to pass it here? We are passing an integer, right? So to hold this value, to perform the, sum of two numbers or something else, to perform some, container which holds, yeah. So if you want to perform an addition, right, you need a couple of variables, to perform that addition. Okay. So what do we need? Like, we needed two numbers. Okay. So where we store it in a variable. Okay. So variable is a placeholder, or, it's kind of a container which holds the data values in program. Okay. So for this variable, actually, I told you, like, if we required, an integer or something else, to get, uh, to store the integer values. Okay, so Java provided there are primitive data types. Okay, so we need to provide all those we data types. Okay, so in those, actually, the primitive data types are, okay, the Boolean, character, byte, short, int, long, float, and etc., like, double. Okay, all these are data types. Okay, so primitive data types, it falls under primitive data types. Okay, so for the non-primitive data, when we go for primitive data types, right, uh we generally have something, okay, to store like an integer or flat, or a, the decimal number or a characters, string of characters. All these things, can be utilized by this primitive data types. Okay, so all these data types are holding their own different sizes. Okay, so when you, okay, different sizes means, like, based upon your requirement, you have to follow it up, right? So if you have a lot of experience and then you don't want to, like, um what do we say, like, so the size, right, we were talking about the size. Okay, so let's say, if you have like an integer or, a short. Okay, so integer will be having, a very big like coverage from, from some place to another place. But yeah, so like I can provide you those details, like what exactly, what was the number that we can store, completely store it, before and after of that value, right? So whenever take integer means, like, it is going to cover the negative value of the number and the positive value of the number. Okay, so it has those limits. Okay, so I'm going to share them. Okay, for now, like, just treat it as these are the primitive data types. One is boolean. It is going to store either true or false, and the character and byte short. Character is only used for single character, and we have the byte shorts and short, sorry, short and int, long, float and double. Float and double comes under the decimal, and the other two, like, short and int, like, it's most likely integers. Okay, so we do have with these data types, actually we do have non-primitive data types also. Okay, so non-primitive data types, what we can say, it you know included in the classes. Okay, so one is interfaces and array. So these things, right? It's non-primitive data. Okay, so example, I just written string and array, so you guys will learn what exactly string, an array. Okay, string is a predefined class, and array is also one of it. So yeah, it's like, very non-primitive data types are like very much like whatever Java provided classes only. Okay, so let's go ahead and check, how this variables and it's going to work. Okay, just a minute. So I have a Replit account, so I usually do those changes whatever we are discussing over here. So let me Java. Okay, I want to show you like how the variables related things, right? It will work. Okay, so if you see here, this is a variable example. Okay, so I have given the default value of the service. Sorry, the default value of uh, you know the byte, the short, and the float and the strings. If you have any strings or something, yeah, we can just check it. Okay, so what it is going to print, any guess? Like, so what exactly it is going to do? It is going to give you the values of this, right? So that's what our expectation, right? So let me run this class. Okay, Java hyphen version. Oh, sorry, Java hyphen variable 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 example. Sorry, yeah, there's a mistake. Okay. Okay, if you see here, so yeah, these are the main primitive data types, and it is going to print those things. Okay. Yeah. Let me go back, to the PPT. So yeah, you will get these examples. Okay. I will zip it, or if you give me something like share location, so I can copy there also. Okay. So let me go back to the conditional statements. Okay. So now you learn how to write a small program, right? Using those syntax and all those things, you'll be having it, right? For the conditional statements, yeah, we are having the decision making statements. First is if statements, and switch statements, these two. Okay, so you see here decision statements, decision making statements. So it is saying if statement, which is having something in the, where it is. Yeah. So once again, somehow I missed something. Okay. So if statements and switch statements were there in the digital decision making statements. Okay. So when somebody says like, once again, if statements and switch statement is, okay, that's fine. So if and switch statements are the two conditional statements, or two basic decision making, statements. Okay, so what exactly this if statement does, right? So if is having very specific syntax, like saying that, okay, if um, hmm, yeah. So for if statement, right, there is a particular syntax that we need to follow, and we'll learn those things. Switch statement also, we'll learn those things, based upon the outcome of the operation, we are good. Okay. So let's go for the if statements, the decision making. Okay, so in general, we make a lot of decisions in our day-to-day activities, right? So yeah, the first one is if you want to go for a football, or with friends, so you choose, that decision making, in that day-to-day life balance, right? So okay, so the decision is, the decision makes, and the decision, uh it is like very difficult sometimes. Okay, because of those decisions, and also there are numerous criterias, to find out which kind of decision that you maintain, right? So yeah, that that exactly, actually, all the decisions that are based, numerous criteria, so which leads to be a big yes or no, right? So you know okay, so the same way that, like, how computer takes a definition, right, to disable that, right? So the computer to just one. Okay. Okay, so is that done? Okay. So next, you want the computer to do the task one and task two. How would you do that with Java? Or it is possibly with Java. Okay. So it is possible with Java. Okay. We can check out that. Okay. So, if you could not make the computer to take the decisions, it would be very useful for the programming language. If there is a no statement, there is a statement called a conditional statement which helps the service for this purpose. Okay, so let's see. So decision making statements, this is what we were started learning. First is if statements, which has the crit score, and second is switch statements, which has some case. Okay, so for now the condition statement is known as, yeah, when the condition statement is known as if else. Okay, so there is a condition we supply uh, to the statement, okay, which has to be either true or false. Okay, so based on this condition, a program divides into two branches. Okay, so one is if block and the another one is yes block. If block and the yes block. So if block is kind of having all this state, one of the condition statement is known as if else statement. Okay, so there is a condition that we supply to this statement, so which has to be true or false. Okay, so that the so that you can actually based on this condition, a program divides into two branches. Okay, so one is if block, do task whenever the condition is okay, and for else block, do the task which the condition is false at the if condition, right? Okay, if you see here on the screen, there is a drop down, sorry, there's this image, okay, which says that, 1 second, it's better, right? Yeah, 1 second. Okay, so this is the syntax. One is if and then condition and then size. Okay, so if is the condition where exactly the condition wants to match it. Okay, so the Boolean expression will be always true for 4K, right? If it is like else block, if it is executing without the condition pass, so then that's an issue, right? So what we are saying here, if the condition satisfies, then it is going to delete the service head. And if it is not, or if it is transferred, okay, if it is an else block, or if the condition did not match, okay, so then definitely he used to ping me in the mark. So if condition, right? When the if condition means like, I'll show you one example. Okay, that would be easy. Yeah. So let's say if you want to compare two values, okay. So with the two variables, if a is equals to b, if the condition turns into a true value, then yeah, we require this to be printed. And in the else block, if something fails or if something wrong with the mac, sorry, with the with the code or something, and it directly execute the else block instead of executing the if block. That's it. Okay, so it it actually has the other one also, that is switch statement. And in the simple words, if you want to understand the switch statement, the Java switch statement executes one statement from the one framework, one statement from conditions. Okay, so that means weekdays, right? So in the switch expression, okay, so the expression is the value that it is going to hold something. Okay, so what we have done here, so switch expression, and then we were changing the case to case one. Okay, sorry, value one. Okay, so here the value should go, and whatever the statements that you have it, you can hear it here. And the break, okay, so the break is like rarely used, it's optional. Okay, and for the case two, the value that is statements. Okay, and it be here also break, and it's not good. Okay, so we can have any number of case statements. Below is default. Below is default statement. Okay, so used when the none of the cases is true. Okay, and the you know the no break is needed in the default side. Okay, so when you have nothing executed for all the cases on the above, so it is going to create a default statements. Okay, so for these two, right, for these two, like if block and the what do we say, if block and the else block, right? So in I'll just go here, if condition. Okay, so it is very pretty much simple. So I just wanted to know whether if it is a prime number or okay. So if you see here on the left side, what is this? Okay, so we just added over here, and where is the where is the if condition? Okay, so here it is. Okay, so what I've done actually, I just added a statement for checking the valid uh, value, okay, which is divisible by 0. Okay, so divisible by 0. Okay, so what exactly it does, right? If it is going with a 0, it comes to an infinite value, and the loop goes up and up, right? So here, if number percentage 2 equals to 0, so that means it is going to if it is going to print something, so definitely um, you know that is divisible by 2. If it is not, then it is not. Okay, so that means, like, it did not satisfy the main condition. Okay, so when we run this program, right, it's very simple. So what we have done, we have taken care of 17, so which is actually assigned to November, and his name, sorry, odd number, right? If the condition fails, it is going to come to the odd number, and it stops the execution. Okay, so let's see how it does. Okay, Java. Java if condition. Okay. Java if condition. Wow. If condition, capital C. Hey, cha, what happened? That's one phone exception. Why? Could not find load main class if the if condition caused by. So, okay, if you run this right, Java if condition, so we got odd number, right? So some will be odd numbers and some will be, you know, the even numbers. Okay, if
Hello.
condition.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah, I
everyone.
can't see whatever you are typing. The screen is stuck in PPT only.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Okay, hey, you would have told me, a bit back, right?
Yeah, at
Sorry,
the
one
time I
second.
was trying to speak, but I was couldn't reach you. I have sent a chat, but you didn't see.
Okay, sorry, man. Yeah. So I can repeat those things. Okay, that's fine. What I was trying to say. So the statements like if conditions and all those things switch and those things I just written in the replit. Okay, so I'm going to show you 1 second. This is the replit which I have using. Okay, so to write the Java programs, and you guys also can use this thing, and I will share my Java replit. Okay, so the programs will be accessible for you guys. Okay, and you can practice them. But for today, actually, what I've done, I just repeated this if condition and this one. Okay, the
Uh,
switch condition.
it's not showing anything.
Really,
It's just your name displaying on the screen.
Okay. Only the name is being displayed.
Yeah,
Hi.
it's showing now.
is it showing now?
Yeah,
Earlier, it wasn't showing this.
Okay, yeah, there's something wrong then. I'm not sure. Like I already shared, but I don't know like what happened. Okay, so just stopped sharing and added again. Okay, so if you see here, these things I was talking about. This is a replit. Okay, and we have this is like kind of a browser. Sorry, it is a browser, but it's kind of acting as an Eclipse or some environment that we can run Java code. Okay, so what I've done actually, I have created some classes, which have all these, examples for each and everything, whatever we are going to learn. And, I was just trying to write something over here only when I was talking with you guys. Okay, so if you see here Java if condition, and I'm getting an odd number. Okay, it's 17. So if I change something to 16 and then just try running it, Java. Okay, Java. Okay, you don't require to compile these things. So actually, by default, it is going to compile everything. Okay, if you are using Replit, so just try to if condition. Okay, so now it gave me an even number. Okay, so similarly, what I was talking about, actually, I was showing the variables related things earlier, the program. Okay, and also you know, uh, this one switch program. Okay, switch condition. Okay, if you see here, this is a switch condition. Okay, so switch condition, what I was just doing, I'm trying to read something from the object. Okay, from the screen, and if the value is 1 or 2, or depending on that, I'm gonna print which day that I am selecting. Okay, so let's see. Let's try this, and we'll try to learn how this program is getting executed. Okay, so okay, enter a value for 1. So I'm just giving 2. So it gave me Tuesday. Okay, I'm just giving 9. It will give me invalid day. Okay. So same like, if you give something,
So whatever we take, it has to be in between the numbers of 1 to 7, right?
yeah, it is just only, yeah, that's true.
It's as it's a weekday. I mean, on the
Correct.
weekday 7.
Yes. Yeah. It is very like, I just wanted to demonstrate how the switch condition is going to work. If you have multiple cases, okay, to, give you some output, right? So only on those cases, actually, we have to choose, switch condition. And if you have only two conditions which needs to be satisfied, okay, one is either true or one is either false, then you can still go with the if condition. Okay. So, most places actually we will be using if conditions, to validate everything, right? So if conditions are like, either it pass, it will give you a statement, or either if it is fail, it is going to give you the fail statements, right? So that is what if condition does. And for switch, actually you have multiple cases depending on the value that you are going to pass it on the switch. Okay. So depending on that, the particular cases will be executed. Okay, so in this case, actually, I'm passing a day value. So if I pass two, it is giving me that two, what exactly it is, Tuesday, right? Tuesday it is going to print. Yeah. So, just try to practice them. Okay. Like, the concepts, whatever we have it. So it's very basic concepts. Okay. Like, the compiler and interpreter, what it does and all those things. And then, a simple hello world program that if you want to write, you need to know about, the special characters that we are going to utilize in the program. Okay. And the, uh, you know, utilize on the program, right? That one. And also, you just try to go ahead with the if conditions and also the switch condition. Okay. So if you want, I can give you this one. Okay, so this is my profile, and you guys can access over here. Okay, and in the applet you can pull the code from over here. Okay, I'm just pasting it in the chat.
And even which Java to be installed, please kindly.
It is Java 17 that is recommended. So
I'm sorry,
I
what is it
17
exactly, Harish?
Java
1
17
7.
yes. Okay, greater version is also fine, but 17 is minimum.
Okay. And regarding this bench, 8.0 bench, is that okay?
Which one?
Java 8.0 bench work.
No, I did not get you. Bench work. Can
Yeah,
you show me?
8.0 version.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So you're talking about Java 8 or 8.2 version?
Yeah.
No, that is actually it is very old version right now. So no,
So,
you know,
so
this
it's
was the one
Java
we are testing.
17 right now. Do we need to
Yes.
install?
No. Java. Yeah. For our things, actually, it is 17, but we still have the latest versions also. If you want, you can go with the latest version as well. But whatever the concepts and whatever the programs that we are going to execute, right? It will be on Java 17 from my side, and it
Okay.
would be safe, yeah, for you guys also. Okay,
Okay. Sure.
because
Sure.
going forward, we are going to check on the Spring Basics, right? So when we went to the Spring Basics, okay, we'll be using Java 17 only. Okay, because the Spring library is particular about Java 17 version.
Sure. Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay, just get those things, and you guys can just pull this code from here and try to execute. And if you are able to do that, yeah, let me know. Or else if you guys require any help on these things, okay, let me know in the next class. Okay. Yeah, I'm stopping the class for today for this one. Okay, so we will reconvene on Monday evening.
Okay.